G'day legends. This weekend's big takeaway was the GOAT of MMA retired. And I'm talking about the true GOAT of MMA. Look, I get it. This list is subjective, the list of the GOATs of the sport. So of course, you're allowed to have your own opinion. That is all good. It's like your taste in music, you know? You're allowed to have it. However, some opinions, like some people's taste in music, is just wrong. Like, what the hell is drill? Please, stop it. Well, this weekend, while one man considered a GOAT by some casual fans of the sport tweeted away and abused his fan base and bragged about how much money he earns and literally put out images saying that he is ducking his opponent, Jon Jones, I am ducking Tom Aspinall. Another man was giving his praise to the fans and walking away from MMA with absolute grace. This weekend at One Championship 168, Demetrious Mighty Mouse Johnson confirmed that he is not going to be back. Yes, he hasn't fought in the last 12 months, but there was always this speculation back and forth between him and the fans whether or not we would see one more fight over at One Championship. And this weekend, he 100% put the pin in that and decided to drop the gloves in a very heartwarming and tear-jerking retirement speech.
Thank you to everybody around the world. Thank you to my wife, my family, my dad, father-in-law, everybody. Love you guys. Mighty's out. Oh, they wanted me to leave the belt in here. I ain't doing that shit. I came into this sport as a champ. I'm leaving my black ass as a champ too. Oos!
There was a lot more to it than that. Feel free to go check it out on YouTube. But Mighty Mouse, I have him as my GOAT. To me, it goes Mighty Mouse, then GSP, then Jon Jones, and then all the rest. To me, right, if your kids ever needed a role model, or if you're a young man that doesn't have dad around in the house and you need a role model, not just in martial arts, but in life, honestly, Demetrious Johnson is one of the guys to look up to. He was never in trouble, never in controversy. He's always been a good person, able to build a career off being a good person. And it's not just what he has done in the cage. We will get to that. But the man has just been, it's funny, right? Like, I get the jokes. I've seen the jokes. He's little, he's tiny, and Lego-sized men can't be considered the GOAT of a combat sport. To the people making those comments, all right? Listen, you vaping, beer drinking, pizza eating, low testosterone having, dad-botted 27-year-old messaging away, okay? And you're meant to be in your physical prime, mate, right? And that little fucker would snap any goddamn limb of yours that he wanted to. You're like, yeah, he can't knock me out though. Like, yeah, okay, his legs might not have the physical reach to get up to your head. But I'm telling you, the dude could run up a wall and Showtime Pettis sidekick you into the side of the head like that, okay? He might be the size of a Henry Cejudo action figure, but he carries himself with the behavior of an absolute giant. I don't know what it is about me. Like, I've always had this weird underlying respect and admiration for underdogs, especially when they make it. And to me, Mighty Mouse is the underdog of all of MMA. He dominated the UFC, and the UFC hated him because that tap-out era, just bleed generation of meathead MMA fans couldn't really get around the fact that he was about the size of a fun-size Mars bar, you know what I mean? So he got passed over, but that didn't matter. He pressed on, forged a new career in an entirely new organization, an organization, One Championship, that was absolutely built for kindergarten-sized men. And then he lost in that organization, but continued to fight on to win it back. And all teasing aside about Mighty Mouse's stature, I love the Mighty Mouse story. And I love that One Championship gave 2 middle fingers to the UFC by making him the first man in their Hall of Fame. And the UFC these days don't even want to acknowledge the existence of Demetrious Johnson. Like, would it have been so hard this weekend to just put up one tweet, one sentence, saying, congratulations on an amazing career, Demetrious Johnson? They've acknowledged One Championship fighters before when they have unfortunately passed away. Now, I'm not saying that it's got the same gravity and the same importance as someone passing away. I'm just pointing out that the UFC are obviously aware that we are all part of a wider MMA community. And I truly believe that if there is ever going to be one organization, pardon the pun, if there is ever going to be an organization that is going to be a threat to the UFC, it could potentially be One Championship. I really do. So I think it's odd that the UFC are just completely ignoring that such a big thing happened over there this weekend. Either way, Demetrius Johnson walks out as my absolute undisputed GOAT of the sport. The UFC flyweight champion, in my opinion, undefeated. I think he got robbed against Henry Cejudo. He had the longest win streak in UFC flyweight history. The most wins in UFC title fights. The most consecutive UFC title defenses in history. He has gotten the most submissions in UFC title fights. Take that, Charles Oliveira. And he has been a one flyweight champion. Now, yes, Demetrius Johnson has had his losses, but to me, that is okay. Honestly, this is MMA, right? We are not boxing. We don't celebrate fighters that can go 30-0 or 40-0 while ducking other opponents. In MMA, we celebrate fighters that actually push themselves, and losing is part of fighting, okay? We don't celebrate fighters that duck a Dominic Reyes rematch or that sit out while Francis Ngannou is in the UFC and then actively duck Tom Aspinall. That is casual shit, okay? That is scroll past somebody's record in Twitter and say, yep, they're the GOAT, and then go back to watching the NBA or something like that. That is weak sauce. MMA, martial arts, fighting, being a man, that is about challenging yourself. That is what the big boys do. Well, anyone will. Mighty Mouse will do that, okay? That is what we're talking about and being a hardcore MMA fan here. That is why, with absolutely zero accusations of drug cheating, being able to dominate 2 organizations, holding records in the UFC, always being a clean athlete and a top bloke, Demetrius Johnson is my absolute GOAT of the sport. And he's not just mine, he's many, many others. So, and not only that, right? Demetrius Johnson also goes ahead and now competes in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and fights in the open. Like, he will happily fight a 230-pound man in Jiu-Jitsu. I know it's hard to call Jiu-Jitsu a fight, but you know what I'm saying. He's still competitive. He's still looking for where his gaps are and trying to prove himself. It's amazing what he is doing. To me, he's the absolute GOAT of the sport. So, DJ, thank you for everything, man. Hopefully, we will continue to see you perform for many, many years in grappling competitions. I won't be watching them, but I'm sure I'll see them around the internet as we go on. That was it. Let me know down there in the comments. Give me 5 reasons as to why DJ is your GOAT of the sport. That's it. I'm out of here. Let me know who's your GOAT of the sport. Can't wait to see the comments on this one. Until then, I will see you all in the next video.